Yeah, it was super cool how they kind of put themselves in a hole. After they finished the Four Horsemen, they put themselves in like a story progression hole.
True.
And man, that next wave, they're out of it. Like I feel like
Yeah.
this story Jouet guy lets
Can
them
do
now
anything.
can do anything. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It allows them to do anything now.
Especially if All Stars is now like finished for good and they just did these intermediate, you know, version 2 waves. I think that'd be cool. All right, all right, all right. Welcome back, everybody, to the Collecting Brothers. I'm John. This is Josh. We got a breakdown for the Ashes of Agebendor from Mythic Legions. Their latest wave, it's kind of like a little half wave, not a full wave. And my theory is that this is going to start replacing the All Stars. I think that might be done. And then these smaller intermediate waves are going to be giving us new figures, but also like new characters, but also a lot of reuse and updates of older characters is what I think this is what the new trend will be with them. But that's just me. What do you think, Josh?
I mean, I feel like always in the middle, when they do the middle of the year release, it essentially is a lot of reuse. And that's kind of been the trend
Correct.
throughout Mythic Legions. And then usually when it's Legions Con, so in the fall, that's when we get like all the new sculpt, all the new tooling. So for me, I don't see like a difference. Like the trends are
Oh,
still
okay.
the same. But I do see what you're saying. I do think it's a definite possibility because they've mentioned it before, and they kind of even mentioned it in the stream where they don't want to do straight up re-releases.
Right.
And so I do agree with you that I do think that this might be kind of like, yeah, there's going to be no more straight up re-releases like the All-Stars wave. Now, I don't think that that's a bad thing, actually.
No, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think that's a bad thing if that's the case.
Yeah, we're gonna get updated figures of old figures that potentially you don't have, or when they're improving the articulation of these figures as well. So it's nice to get those old figures updated. So we'll see what they
Yeah,
do.
as long as I get my like scratch itched for that character, I'm totally fine. Like I wouldn't need the old one,
Right,
because who'd
right,
want the
right.
old one? You have the better version now.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of they are 10 years. This line has been going on, right? It's almost to that point where they can finally have that back catalog to just kind of update things. Things have changed. Things have changed for them. So, all right, let's go ahead and talk about Mythic Legions. That's what we're here for today. First up, this is the full wave here, the Ashes of Agebendor. 10 figures with 1 2-pack. So technically 9 items that you can purchase, but a 2-pack there. So let's go ahead and talk about all of them. First up here is with the Blue Shield Soldier, which is a deluxe knight builder. They're calling it number 3 here. And this one looks really cool, man. And here's this beautiful shot here. All the beautiful, like the environmental shots are going to be by 1/6 shooter Trevor Williams. So thank you, Trevor, for letting us use these photos. These are just amazing, man. It really, really gives you that, just the feel of these figures and kind of posing them and battling them. And but yeah, it's an update, of the old Blue Knight builder kit, which was, correct me if I'm wrong, that was from the first wave, the Kickstarter wave, right? Covenant of Shadows.
No.
Okay,
Yeah. So
okay.
Covenant, it's an old wave, but it's not the first wave. Just because you can see there's still like some not original pieces, but there's still some newer pieces on here. And with the first one, it was this one. It was the male, and then they released the Deluxe Night Builder Kit 2, which was the female, right?
The female, right? Yeah.
It's like this one's kind of nice because technically it is supposed to be a reissue and just scratch people's itch, like you missed out on this, right? But even if you have this, it's so different that it's kind of like it works so well for both, I think, communities, because I think there is a really big difference. I feel like there's the OGs, and then there's like the people that kind of just joined in late, because it was hard to know about this at that time.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely early on, yeah. And yeah, I mean, like you said, an update to everything here. And this is a true builder kit, right? You're getting so many extra pieces here. A torso, soft goods, skirt pieces, pauldrons, helmets, everything, man. And just an incredible loadout on this figure here. And with it being a deluxe builder set, it is going to be $60 for all that you get there. There's a read up on the bio of the Blue Shield Knight. Kind of interesting. The lore behind it was just like the Blue Shield Knights were people that fought during the First Great War, and they were like fighting these goblins, and to like stop the goblins from advancing, they had to collapse a cave, but it would also trap them inside with the goblins. And then that sacrifice like gets honored by the mythos, and so just a kind of a blue shield knight soldier there to get that story part there. That's fun.
Yeah, you gotta love. I love when they kind of give us more and more details because they only give us so much in each bio, and each time we kind of get more and more of the piece of the story. And it's a cool story. I definitely enjoy it, especially this wave of Ashes of Agebendor. I feel like this was probably one of the most, I think for me, interesting bios. So definitely if you have time, like go through and read the bios because they're kind of really, I feel like, dedicating more time, I think, in the bios. Because previously they were very vague. And I feel like now they're like, okay, this brand is a success. We need to start having a clear picture of what the heck's going on in our story. Whereas before it was just like, let's just give them that just kind of just so we have something. They were just trying to make anything. Yeah, just to make something. And so it's really cool to see now they're kind of making definitive decisions in their lore, definitive decisions in how their story progresses.
Right.
And one cool thing about this is they said, and even me, I thought of this too, like when you go down in the toy aisle, like this is the knight that you think of, right? The blue with silver. Yeah. For some reason, like that's true. Like
just a very classic, yeah.
Yeah, if you guys ever been to like Michael, I don't know if you guys have like Michael's in your area, but when you go down to Michael's, there's like those like solid rubber toys of like animals, dragons, and knights. I don't know if you've been to that section before.
Yeah.
But like they always have
statues, my kids. Yeah.
Yeah, they have like the blue and silver knight every time.
No, yeah, it does look really good. Very, very classic knight. And honestly, like with the lore thing, like I think it's nice that I agree with you that we're getting more stories, more like bios. And I think, because this Mythic Legions don't have a show. They don't have comic books. They don't have anything, right? To like kind of support the story. It's all just headcanon and whatever the Horsemen put out. So it is nice.
Video games coming, though. Video games coming.
That's true. War for Aether Bleed or whatever.
Yeah, Bleed. War for Aether Bleed. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's cool. But yeah, no, I think this is cool. And a good way to get an old figure back out there, update an old figure. Here's some different builds you can do with the pack itself. 3 vastly different looks, right? And the blue and yellow here in the middle there, that is an homage to the female Knight Builder. So that way she could fit in with this team as well if you wanted to.
Yeah, the Knight Builder 2 set. Exactly. Yeah, the Knight Builder 2 set. Yeah. So, and you're basically getting like a Valiant Knight. Like, already, guys. See, we told you.
Yeah.
Exactly. On the Valiant Knight. Like, you can even see like this even is cooler than the Valiant Knight because it has gold inlays on it,
Yeah. And that's what Trevor was saying here is that he had one blue shield soldier. The 2 on the flanking here, those are just Valiant Knights with the blue shield extra parts. So again, just fits perfect with it.
Yeah, and that's a great point. Like, I think with this $60 set, I feel like there's 2 kind of groups. Like if you're thinking of whether you're debating you should get this, I think you should get this if you have army builders or extra figures. Even if they're not even army builders, right? Yeah, just like you can spruce up. I feel like if you have those Legion builders, like the Black Knight or even the Deluxe Legion builder, right? Those ones were like $27. And they didn't have very many painted parts. And so to get this, you're gonna have use for these pieces with your other like kind of cheaper figures, the cheaper ones, the Legion builders.
Right. Yeah,
and
you can start kit bashing.
Yeah, exactly. And then the last people I think that this is going to work really well for is if you're kind of maybe new to not Mythic Legions, but new to kit bashing. This is almost like a pre-catered set where you have parts that cohesively are going to go together no matter which ones you pick, because it's almost like when you ever seen those like things they try to sell it, it's like, oh, become a chef, and it has like all the ingredients and you kind of cook it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. The food boxes or whatever.
Yeah. So I think it's a great way if you're like kind of maybe nervous or kind of sitting on the wall, whether like, I don't know if I'll suck at kit bashing or suck at customizing. Like this set makes it so like you can't, no matter what creation you're gonna make, it's gonna look good.
Right. No matter how you mix this in the pot, it's gonna be a good figure. It's gonna work well within the figure itself. Yeah. You don't have to really think about like colors or parts. Yeah. For sure there. All right. But yeah, there's the blue soldier knight, the builder there, pack 3. Again, $60 for all that, dude. It's a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
Next up, the Malignancy of Gob Hollow. Now, the Malignancy itself is a sub Facebook group specifically for Goblin Mythic Legions fans, just like kind of how they have the Kings Under the Mountain, which is a sub, for the dwarves. So again, the Rising Suns wave gave us the homage to that group. It's cool that they're giving us the Malignancy homage here in the Goblin Hollow. Now, this is the 2-pack that you're getting here. And a beautiful environmental shot by Trevor. Man, what do you think of that piggy face, dude? That piggy head. I love that thing.
I do too. I feel like, and it keeps with the trend of like whenever they do goblins, besides the Goblin Legion Builder,
Yeah.
each goblin head varies drastically. Like it's almost kind of like their goblins are almost like just mutants, where each one doesn't even look remotely close to the other one. You know?
They're all just kind of mashed together,
Yeah.
different attributes. Yeah. But this pack, it is two figures, $75. And the funny thing here is that these guys are the people that were trapped by the blue shield. It's kind of like the origins of Gob Hollow. So because the blue shield knights trapped them in here, they actually didn't die. They were actually to get away in the dark, and then they were able to establish Goblin Hollow. So like an origin story for the goblins.
Yeah, that's what's cool, I think, about this whole wave, which I just love. Not necessarily I mean, I love the figures in the way, but what got me excited is literally the story and the lore, because the story kind of ended with we got the four horsemen and kind of there, and this wave, it has some future stuff, but a lot of it is prequel story figures.
Yeah, like stuff that's happened before, stories that have happened before. Yeah. Which I think is why it will replace All Stars, because I think that's like a way for them to be like, hey, here's this person telling these stories from all of Mythos, and they can just then pull anything that they want to redo, version 2 or an updated version, and be like, oh, here's this little bit of story for you, and then give you that figure.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great point, because that's what they should do if they're not already doing that. Because just like with any show, like any like anime show, like it's like they always have different costumes,
Right.
And so it's just like a reskin. The only thing that's not going to make sense, but it doesn't matter, is that like, why in the early days did they have way cooler costumes, and then the later days they had like dumb costumes? But no, that's we can stomach that.
Yeah, people were just kind of saying that, like how like the armors are still the same, even though it's been thousands of years. But it's just like it's like Lord of the Rings, like it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 different builds here that they showed off. This build here, you're getting bare goblin arms, which I think is really, really cool. Forearms too, so not only biceps but uppers and lowers. And then here's what the 2-pack will contain. You get again all those different parts, so much goodness. And then the cool thing here about the last part is that technically these are not named characters, but they said that if you build them like this, they are then named, and these 4 names are from members of the Malignancy, like kind of top contributors, the founders of the Malignancy on the Facebook group. So we have Dobin, Mark, Mac, Kirby, Curb, and then Patter. So that's again just 4 horsemen doing their community, understanding their community, loving their community, supporting their community, and giving these homages to them.
Yeah, the highlight though is it's got to be the bare forearms and thighs. Like I think that's a game changer, especially for goblins, because in goblins, I don't think of fully as I don't feel like goblins all should be fully armored up, because they're like there's thousands of them. They're scrappers. They don't have a bunch of armor.
They kit bash their armor.
Yeah, so to finally get that is amazing, and just to get these 4 different looks, and you can also notice that one is on the goblin body, and then the other 2 are the dwarf body. But you can even see though that Patter, it has the dwarf body with the bare arms, and it doesn't look bad.
Doesn't look bad, no.
Yeah, you would think kind of the proportions would kind of be off, but they're relatively the same size. It's like they're a tad taller. The dwarf body, it's just more the girth.
Yeah, it's just like thickerness. Like, and that kind of works. So like they could just have a thicker piece of armor on their chest plate, but they still have their little goblin arms sticking out. I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy how well, like if you just look at Dobin and Patter, it's like those are 2 separate bodies, but I feel like the arms work for both. It's kind of crazy. They don't look bad.
They don't. They fit right in there. But yeah, man, this is cool to get these 2-packs. And 2-pack here is gonna be 70, like I said, or 75. Excuse me, 75 for that pre-order price.
All right, let's go, baby. They said year of the Gobbies this year. They said year of the Gobbies.
They did. Next up, we have Yousef of the Golden Spear, and man, an angel. This is cool. I really, really dug this. It's just so beautiful and ornate. And he's going to be a deluxe figure because the wings, of course, a little bit bigger. $40 there. But again, telling a story from an old first age, kind of Mythos. They showed up and came up. These angel guys. I love them.
And the nice thing is that they're calling it a deluxe, but it's actually not a deluxe price. So like deluxe figures usually run $45. And
Mm-hmm.
they're thinking just because they added the wings and maybe like a few effect accessories that make it a lot more like it makes it a lot more figure. It's technically only $3 more than your average basic figure, like your $37 Mythic Legion
Your
figure.
standard, yeah.
Yeah, so $3 more, and you're getting like extra accessories plus those wings. Like I just appreciate them just not trying to get every dollar they can. Just like saying this is not a $45 figure, even though look how many helmets. Like
Yeah.
honestly though, this is a $45 figure, but they're just being nice enough because they've already kind of paid for the tooling for a majority of this wave. There are new parts in this wave,
Yes.
but
Yes.
majority is they've tooling's
Reuse.
already done. Yeah,
Yeah.
that it's not a $45, it's a $40 figure, which is cool.
Yeah, and that is nice again to get that little bit of a like understanding. They understand that it is reuse. They're not going to charge the full price amount for it. So, but yeah, I love these ornate wings, dude. Like how bronzy and like faded they look, and yeah, this armor looks amazing, man. This thing just looks really, really good. Apparently, it's a little bit of a pearlescent, is what Trevor said. So,
Yeah, like if you have Sir Ignatius or Galadriel, those are kind of other angels that they've released, and they are just beautiful. Like the white definitely has like a shimmer, a shine, and it's good kind of to get more from the angel faction because I feel like besides Sir Ignatius and Galadriel, let me know guys down in the comments. Like I can't think of any other kind of angels that they release, so it's kind of a underdeveloped faction. So good to see them hitting this and not just hitting dwarves every year.
for sure. But there's everything you're getting with Yousef. Next up, Golden Skeleton 2. And this one also surprised me. Honestly, Yousef and Golden Skeleton 2 are kind of standouts for me. But take a look at this, man. So the theory or like the thinking behind it was like, why are there gold skeletons? Like who would have gold skeletons? And they were saying that fallen angels would have gold skeletons. And so this was like an angel that had fallen, has the gold skeleton, but it hasn't drifted far enough away from the light or whatever, hasn't fallen all the way to the darkness, so it still had green or still had wings, but they were like rotting and decaying, and that's why you get that green translucent wings, man. Beautiful though.
Yeah, it's super cool, especially because like me personally, I always hated the Golden Knight. Like the original Golden Knight, to be honest, I thought it was probably one of the dumbest figures. Just
Okay.
because I was kind of I watched the stream and I was watching, and what's his name? Jeremy Gerard was saying the same thing. I was like, dude, Jeremy, me and you are on the same team. Whereas like the gold, it just doesn't make sense. It's like, who the heck wants a Golden Knight? And at the time, they were probably just like, because they kind of already made so many different skeletons, a black one, a red one, regular one. They were just trying to repaint it and sell it, and sell another one. Yeah. And so and that's what it was. And that's why I was like, oh, I hate this thing. Who wants to
Mm-hmm.
But with this story, I
Yeah.
flipped the coin, dude. I don't know how they do this to us. They need to give their story writers a raise because the way that I ended up getting 1,000 swigs after that story,
Right,
and I was actually excited about it. And now a figure that I kind of didn't ever have any interest in.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm super interested in just because of that story. And so they just have great. I don't know who the heck is writing these stories, but they're good, man. They're good because now it makes sense. And I love that, like, as you can see with the Goblin Hollow 2-pack and the Night Builder, they're a story. And now this angel and then the fallen angel, they're a story. And so it's super cool to get kind of almost like a play set.
Like they work so well together, like perfect dichotomies, right? Good and bad, light and dark. Yeah, I love this. Love these two here, the gold skeleton too. But yeah, another one of those deluxe figures. It's $40 there for at this wave here. Oh, soft goods too, man. We haven't mentioned that, but we're getting some beautiful. I don't know. I feel like we're at a point with Mythic Legions that we're just expecting the soft goods.
Yeah.
So sometimes we don't always shout it out, but like pay attention. Yeah, gotta pay attention.
It's true. I know, and even like extra hands, extra heads, like that wasn't a thing. Like
it wasn't
like extra hands, extra feet. That didn't exist.
That was on a pack itself, right?
Yeah, that was a pack.
Yeah. All right. Next up, Frost Ogre. Big old boy on the ogre body, frosty boy. It's going to be a $65 here. And again, man, I think this is kind of where I'm really focusing on the soft goods on for this one for sure. Beautiful, beautiful soft goods there. Just getting that fur texturing that, like that sheepskin that got ripped off the pelt there. So looks really cool.
And same thing, I feel like kind of another faction that's very, very underdeveloped because the only thing that I can think of is the Ice Troll and Talon Frostbow. and one of the elf builders. So it's like
Okay.
this kind of the elves. I would guess the elves to the north. I guess the frozen elf faction is like, I swear, I think there's only 3 figures in this faction, and it's one of my favorite factions. I've always loved Talon Crossbows. Look, just like the icy blue that they have, and
Right.
so I love that they're kind of hitting factions that are underdeveloped.
Yeah, that is cool. And the story behind this guy is that he's like Ilithia, the vampire. Like they use them to guard their houses or their caves wherever they live during the daytime. So if anyone shows up, you got to fight the frost ogres. So 2 different looks here, 2 different head sculpts. You get in that more of like, the brutish one there, and then like a helmeted, bearded one here as well.
And I just want to make a really important comment that I thought of while watching the stream, and just how much like I love the Four Horsemen Studios. It's because it's time and time again they just do the right thing, and time again I always feel like they don't care about money, and they
Like
just care about
as a company, right? Like as a company, this is
They
how you're
don't.
feeling. Yeah.
They don't. They literally just care about having enough funds to make the next figure. That's literally all they care about. Because I'll tell you guys right now, it happens time and time again, where when this was released with the giant. It was like
Okay.
the skin, and then you had to buy the giant accessory pack. So like if you go back to the last slide, that this is literally the giant accessory pack that we paid $25 for, that you sold separately, that you had to buy with the giant. So it's ridiculous. It's honestly ridiculous that this ogre is being solicited at $65, because just previously you had to buy the giant for 60, I think, or 65. I think it was 60. No, because it was a Legion builder giant. So it was 45.
Okay.
It was 45
Plus a $25
plus the
to make
$25 accessory pack, which would have been
70.
70.
Yeah, 70.
But even then, those $40 Legion giant, those are underpriced. Like those are ridiculous that they could do the giant for 40, because it's $3 more than, I don't know. The Legion ogre builders are ridiculously priced. They're undervalued. So it's just crazy that now they do this, just like what they did when they did the feet and accessory pack. Nah, that doesn't exist anymore. Now
Get
it's
rid
included.
of it. Yeah, it's all just packed in, man.
Yeah, and now it's like, as long as they just need the money to make the tooling, and then they're willing to give it to us at the same price, because this is the most stuff an ogre scale figure has ever come with. There's never been an ogre scale figure like this. No way. With the amount of stuff this comes with, no way.
That's cool. That's cool to hear. Again, yeah, I agree with you, man. I've kind of fallen in love with them as a company, and just kind of being in that community as well has just been really, really nice and supportive. And so I don't know. I agree with you for sure. Enjoy the Four Horsemen. All right. Next up, Kai-Pacha. Kai-Pacha standard figure for 37. He's a Jaguelian thief. He's kind of a good guy gone bad, or bad guy gone good. Cool. Just again, filling out the story, man, giving us more information on these guys. But yeah, man, look at this shot. Looks great, dude. That cape too, man. I love it.
Looks very cool. And I think even though this is not a version 2, right? This is just a new figure. It still scratches that junky itch I have for Balam. And I feel like many of the people in the Cabal were hoping for a Balam in their Mysteries and Mythos, and it was rare. And so to get at least a Jaguelian figure kind of satisfies us.
Yeah, no, to get another head there. And this sucker comes with 3 different heads. That looks like a vampire one, and then a frosty. I'm not sure what that blue one is, but
actually, technically you're right. It technically is a vampire one, but specifically they said it's not a vampire, it's actually an orc. And I'm actually super surprised at how well it translates to an orc. Like I don't have any issue, because sometimes like you see some reuse and it's like it looks bad. Like for example, like when they reused Hunter body for the what are they guys called? The Delta Squad. Terrible reuse. Like just trying to sneak corners. And yes, this is kind of like sneaking a corner, but I'm surprised at how well just repainting the vampire head green, it still looks like an orc to me.
And I think also having the hood up, right? It hides the ears, it hides kind of the more bulbousness of them. You can kind of pull it off a little bit better for sure. Yeah, no, this is a cool one. I'm in love with that cape though, man. I love just like the folds in it, just how it's flowing. Such a great job on there from C. Jesson.
And then the blue head is it kind of there are kind of these blue skin people, kind of like Asa, which is also in this wave. Maybe
Like
he's
half
part of
elf
that.
people?
Could be. I'm not sure. Maybe dark elf. It could be dark elf because we can't see the ears. I'm not sure because
Yeah.
it could be like Aza Spiritbender, who she's just kind of like a mancer.
Oh, okay.
She's just
Right.
like a kind of mage wizard type character. She has blue skin,
Yeah.
but then there are also all the dark elves. So I'm not sure which one it could be.
Yeah. But no, again, like you said in the early, man, definitely scratches that Dobin itch with the Jagwellian head.
Yeah, the Balam. Yeah.
Or Balanza. No, looks really cool. All right, let's keep going. We're getting a Shadow Centaur. Look at this big old boy. I believe, what is this, like the second or third Centaur they've done?
It's the second Centaur.
All right. $65 for this Shadow Centaur. And dude, yeah, the fact that we can get these pieces into people's hands, I mean, it's so cool that these come with adapter pieces, right? That allow you to put any Mythic Legion's torso, upper body onto a horse. I think is so cool.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous, like the combinations that you can make. And I'm so excited to get more Centaurs because I feel like Apharius was an absolute banger of a first Centaur figure. And they kind of mentioned they wanted to go like the complete opposite, kind of make like an evil Centaur all the way, like the exact opposite of Apharius. Right. And specifically, though, it only fits brute scale bodies. And we haven't seen it. Okay. To be honest, we haven't. Like they kind of introduced the brute scale body after the Apharius Centaur was released, but there hasn't been many brute scale figures, to be honest. Like in this wave, I don't believe there's any brute scale figures. And
we have the Ogre. That's about as big as it gets.
Yeah. Well, the Ogre's bigger, right? But it's it's something. Yeah, that's kind of still. They still need to kind of build that catalog. But here, yeah, it's kind of weird to look at. It's the Apharius head with a dark elf helmet. So I don't know.
Oh yeah, it's like a little more pointy.
Yeah, this is the one where like, I don't know, it kind of looks weird. Dark elf head on the body there.
There's everything you get in here. So much, man. So much that you're getting from these.
And they also said too that it's not a saddle. They said it's back armor, and the reason they said that is because they're like centaurs. They don't want to get the wrong idea that centaurs
are getting ridden.
Yeah. They're like, Centaur's not getting ridden. But the problem is like, there was that hole. There was a hole. They said, and it just looked weird. And so they said it looks like a saddle, but they said it's specifically it's back armor. Okay?
I mean, it is plated. It does.
Centaurs don't get rid of it.
They don't get rid of it. All right. Next up, like Josh mentioned, we have an Aza Spiritbender 2. And this one looks cool, man. Here's this cool shot here with her raising Blue Hagnon coming out of the grave, man. This technically it's not Blue Hagnon. It's just like people,
Oh, it is. It is though. Well, not in the story, but the figure it is.
Yeah, the figure is Blue Hagnon. Yeah, in the story it is, just past dead people there. So $37 for this base figure. Sorry, this standard figure. But yeah, like Josh was saying, it's a necromancer. And she was bad, and then she got these like ceiling tattoos done on her to kind of free her from the dark from the bad people, and now she is a necromancer for the good people. And so I like that story of adding the tattoos, like kind of like a ceiling one. But yeah, man, look at those soft kits, dude. Really cool materials. As I was saying or as you guys will find out, hasn't been posted. I did record it, but the gods of Egypt 2-pack, man. I mentioned that C. Jessam I think what stands out the most. Now, yes, his stuff his textiles are great. They articulate well, but one of my favorite things about it is the choices of fabric that he chooses, or that team chooses. Man, it's always just the right fabric for what he's trying to do. And again, I think we see it here with the two tones, right? We get like a little more shinier, higher thread count for the skirt piece, but then a big old cape as well. So.
Yeah, they're still pushing the limits because this is a cape like we've never seen before. It's not your average cape, especially even the loincloth piece is insane at how much detail there is. And yeah, it's cool to get that backstory of the tattoos because that was present on the original Aza. Same thing, I feel like everybody was looking for that Aza in those Mystery Mythos packages. And so to get this, like, why would you, unless you're a completionist, why would you want the other one? This one's perfect.
There's no need. Need. And shout out to that cool skull effect piece that she can throw out, dude. That thing is sick.
That is cool.
She gets a book, some blades, some curved blades, pauldrons, 2 different head sculpts, and those wizard effect pieces there as well. Just another great figure, dude.
It brings so much hope. Like I feel like to collectors who join lakes. I joined kind of late to Mythic Legions, and just missing essential characters like King Noglin. Like, who doesn't? If you're like me, my favorite faction is goblins. I love the goblins, and so to not have the Goblin King just sucks. But I now know that he's so important to the story that they're gonna release a version 2. Like, it's guaranteed that version 2, King Noglin, King Bromden, all the kings, I have no doubt that they'll release second versions of now.
And that kind of started with, what was, you think that was with Rising Suns, where they did Attila again on that updated?
Well, that wasn't with Rising Suns. It was with the Kickstarter Aether Blade for the video game.
Right, that 2-pack. Yeah,
they did the Attila and Gorgo 2-pack for the video game. So it was even actually before Rising Suns.
Before that, it was before that. Yeah, so no, there's definitely hope. I mean, especially if All Stars is now like finished for good, and they just did these intermediate, version 2 waves. I think that'd be cool.
The only thing I think that's a drawback to that, if that is the case, because
right, I'm speculating.
No. Well, I hope that happens. I'm just saying the only drawback to that is that there's no fan input, and I feel like that's one of the strong suits of the Four Horsemen, is that there is that fan input. So maybe they would just need to do their own research and look in the community or look on like the aftermarket prices to kind of see what's a figure that people are looking for. Because with the the All Stars, it was always there was the fan vote, and we got to choose. And I always loved that. It was like, we got to choose what figure we wanted back. So I do like the versions 2s, but I also wouldn't mind if they continue the All Stars just because
just the fan vote, right?
Both, the fan vote, plus I don't mind having both versions. I don't care. Because it's still technically a different figure, and it still also makes sense within the story, because you can then in my headcanon I would put the first release as the young as this is the current
later version. The later version.
Exactly.
Cool. Okay. All right. Last step to round out this wave, we are getting Shui. He is the one that is kind of basically telling the story of all these people that have all these figures that we're coming from. So he's the one that kind of shows up at the end of the battle on the actual Ashes of Agebendor, and he's trying to find any stories that he can collect and tell the stories of those people who have died. And so I think this is kind of the crux for these waves, is that they're going to have a storyteller at the center of it, and then that storyteller can then tell the stories of all those old people, from the first Great War, from the second, from anything in between, and all the way up into the end. Standard figure for $37, Master of Records. So yeah, man, I think that's just kind of, especially maybe this wave specifically, right? I feel like that might be the trend.
It was super cool how they kind of put themselves in a hole. After they finished the Four Horsemen, they put themselves in like a story progression hole.
True.
And man, the next wave, they're out of it. Like, I feel like this story Jouet guy
can do anything.
Can do anything. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It allows them to do anything now. So they're no longer in that hole that they were, where they were in a kind of a story hole.
Right, where they were just progressing to the end, right? Yeah. Now with Shui, they can be like, well, we're at the end, but there is something post this, but here's all these stories from before. But man, look, these soft goods, dude. You get like this purple trench coat without the sleeves. You get a little green skirt piece. Love this, dude. And that hood is really good. They didn't have a hood up shot, but it's going to work really well.
Yeah.
And then the
translucent head, what the heck?
The translucent, right? The Avatar state.
Dude, it even looks like Shui. Avatar Roku.
Yeah, so this is good, man. And I did throw up this little picture here just to kind of see the underneath. But man, just that bright blue with the gold. Love those, my school colors,
That is sick. Honestly, I want to try this now and like put that on the blue Hagnon body,
Yeah.
I feel like it'll work really well. Yeah.
That'll look cool for sure. But here's everything you're getting with them. You get that beautiful staff, the different neck pegs, translucent pieces, hands, heads, everything, man. Just such a great figure there. But there we go. That rounds up all the figures from the Ashes of Agebendor wave. The all-in price for these figures is $420. That gives you all 10 figures, including that 2-pack. Now, if you were to buy these individually for some reason, it would be $400.
Or just like, or if you're not interested at all, or just budgetary reasons, right?
Correct. But specifically, if all of them priced regularly, would be $456. The all-in price is that $420. So just getting a little bit of a discount, kind of getting a free figure when you do
free fig, as always. Yeah, free fig as always.
Right? It's always there. But let's go ahead and break it down a little bit here. The standard figures are going to be $37 on this pre-order here. Those are the Shui, Aza, and I can't remember.
It was like Kai-Pacha.
Kai-Pacha, yeah. And those will go after the pre-order does go out. They will go up to $50 at retail price. And then the deluxe figures, they're going to be the 2 angels are going to be $40 with a projected estimated retail price of $60. And then the Night Builder is going to be $60 on pre-order with a $75 retail price. And then the large and multi-packs here, the Ogre and the Centaur will be $65 with around $80 to $85 retail. And then the 2-pack is going to be $75 at pre-order with a $90 retail projected. So that's around $600, not including potential shipping. Now, it kind of comes down to how you want to go about this, right? If you want to pay now, secure them now, and your money does sit with the 4 horsemen, but you're guaranteed all the figures. Or if you want to pay later, you can save shipping costs with maybe a different company like Big Bad Toy Store, right? Where you can get that flat rate shipping. You're just going to be paying a little more out at the door later, but it gives you more time to save.
Yeah, and honestly, don't go to Big Bad. Try to find, I would say, a smaller retailer.
Right,
Support the small guys. Yeah, go
One Stop Toy Shop, Hello Dope Toys.
Dude, One Stop Toy Shop. I bought a figure from him. Dude, great service, great packaging, great shop. Yeah, quick. Check out that shop. One Stop Toy Shop, but also too, like they mentioned, just going to like your local comic book shops, asking them, or just anywhere like. Go smaller, like anybody that's not Big Bad.
Yeah, that's true.
Opinion. Anybody but Big Bad, I would say.
Honestly, we need to go down to some of our local shops and start asking them to carry these because that'd save us so much.
Well, no, even then though, no, it's not because the price bump is actually a lot. You lose a lot
on some of them, right? Like on the standard figures for sure, but on the deluxe, it's not as bad. But what they are saying though on this here, the pre-order starts May 31st. It started. You can go ahead and go to Store Horseman right now. Pick out which ones you want, get the all-in, your choice, and it will run until June 30th. Because this wave is all reuse, they did say that they are going to be expecting this to be start shipping out to people within a year. So by July 1st next year, they should be starting shipping. So that's super quick for the Horsemen on regards to like from pre-order to shipping. Just a year. It's not bad, man.
Yeah, and that's what it always is with this spring wave. It's always about a year. And that's why I think it's the wrong choice to order these through a retailer. Just because I think it makes more fiscal sense to do it through when they have the big wave in the fall for their Legion's Con, because those ones can be year and 3/4 up to even 2 years sometimes, because they always get like an extra quarter. Whereas like these ones, when they say 630, I believe them because everything's already done and there's going to be less hiccups. Whereas the other ones, it's like they say a year and a half, but I'm like year and 3/4. I'll say that 2 years, 2 years. Or like Contact League is 2.5 years, 2.5 years.
Exactly. Because a piece could come back and be like, well, that's not the right way. Or the, paint app might come back. That's not the right way. They have to, they're having to communicate and with China, and potentially travel there. And, that takes time.
So yeah, with this one, guys, like if you have the money, just pre-order from Store Horseman now, because your money's only going to sit for a year. And it's not that big a deal. And you're going to waste so much more money ordering from a retailer. And
you have a month. That's 2 paychecks, depending on how you get paid. That's enough time to, kind of put a little bit away each week or, sell some stuff. You can start selling some stuff and I'm pretty sure you'll be able to get that 420. Not too bad. So yeah, no,
I'm glad that you put those, like, go back to the price comparisons, because it's important to note, because there are, for some reason, I would say vast differences in how much they upcharge for retail. So like, let's say you don't have the money now. Like if I was going about it, then like if we look at the regular figures, they're going up what? $13. Okay, then the deluxes are going up 20. And then what else is there? The large big boys are going up 15. So you could see 13, 20, 15. So in your head already, like that makes sense, right? It makes sense. Even if like, let's say I only have money to buy 2 or 3 figures, you should buy the deluxe figures, because if you buy the deluxe figures, you're going to save way more money than if you buy the ogres or the regular standard figures. Yeah. And then maybe you buy if I was like low on budget, I would buy the deluxe figures down all 3. Then later on, if I wanted to, go back through the retailers to buy the ogres and the standards. You'd save the most money that way.
Right. Yeah, that's true. That's true, because you're getting the ones that are going to increase the most at the cheaper price, and then the ones that aren't going to be increasing as much at that, just a little bit more.
Well, except also get the freaking Shadow Centaur because that one's going up 20.
That's a big one. And that's
Shadow
just
Centaur.
estimations. That's not the actual retails. It's just based off of previous releases. So,
Yeah, and I don't see them. I don't see them changing. Yeah,
I don't see them changing either. But yeah, so there you go. There is the Mythic Legion's Ashes of Agebendor intermediate wave of 10 figures. All right, Josh, you can only pick one. And the 2-pack Goblin does count as one.
That's my question. Just kidding.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Sorry, Josh.
Nah, I like only one, dude. I can't take one.
All right, top three.
Yeah, I'll go in order. So you know which was my top one.
Okay. You're starting with your top.
Yeah, starting with top.
Okay.
It's cheating, but technically it's not. You know that Gavi 2-pack, dude.
The Gavi 2-pack.
That Gavi 2-pack, I love Goblins. I think just introduction of those bare forearms and biceps and thighs. I love that.
Yeah.
And the tribute aspect of it, the soft goods, the story with it. Gotta be Gavis. Second, I go, I'm not a big knight person. I'm not a knight guy.
Okay.
I go, and this was kind of knight heavy. I go Aza Spiritbender.
Okay.
Aza Spiritbender, and that might just be because I've been wanting that figure for a while. So,
That's fine. That
one looks nice. And then Frost Ogre.
Frost Ogre. Okay.
Yes.
Not bad. For me, I'm going to go Yousef, the Golden Spear, the Light Angel, Gold Skeleton 2, the Dark Angel, and then Shui. Those are my top 3, man. I love the Angel vibe, man. I love that. And having the light and dark dichotomy is so cool. And then Shui just looks cool. Get that Spiritbender.
And he's kind of like, I feel like he's going to be an important character, like he's going to.
Right, that's true.
You got to have Shui now.
Yeah, like he's the storyteller, right? He's the one that's going to be telling all these stories. But yeah. All right, friends, go ahead and let us down below if your top 3 from Ashes of Agebendor, what you're picking up. And yeah, man, another solid way from the 4 horsemen. It was cool to see Cornboy on the stream too. Yeah, he was like somewhere tropical,
he shows
right?
Up less and less, dude. That that's something I noticed too. Like I feel like they're getting big enough where maybe he's outsourcing stuff. I feel like he shows up less and less.
I think he just got over some like medical issues.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like
that makes sense then.
He was in the hospital for a while. And then he just got out of it, I think, just the end of last year, maybe the start of this year. And so he's back now. But
because I miss him. Like for me, he's my favorite force. Like he's hilarious. I love Cornboy because he only showed up in the beginning and the end. I was like, what the heck? Where's more Corn? I need more Cornboy.
But I bet he'll start showing up a little more.
Okay, that makes sense.
I do agree with you. Like overall, like they are just kind of, they are getting bigger. They are getting very, very big.
And they've been doing it for 10 years, so they're just like,
10 years. Yeah.
No, but that makes sense. I didn't know he got sick or something.
There's some medical stuff. Yeah, he was in the hospital for. So, but he's back. Cornboy's back. All right, Josh. Any final thoughts you want to say before we head out?
I'm trying to think if there's anything else to point out. I think we got it. I think we got it all.
We got it. It's done. We did it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, friends, for tuning in. Remember, leave down a comment down below of your favorite Mythic Legion's Ashes of Agebendor. But as always, friends, keep collecting, keep playing, and may the action figure gods smile upon you. Peace.